Today we have an update on the situation on something that I ended up talking about not so long ago, and that has to be the whole Logan Paul situation. Now I know what you're wondering, what did he do this time? Because I think we all know the words Logan Paul and drama just goes absolutely perfect together. We're talking about his whole Cryptozoo drama and his whole game. Now if you don't know what Cryptozoo is, it's basically a NFT cryptocurrency game. Now most of the time when most people hear those two words together, they instantly just run in fear because it's not good news. Because let's be honest, 95% of the time when you hear an NFT or crypto game, it's most likely just a scam, just so they can basically get as much money as possible from people who are either desperate or think that this thing is going to make them big and they're instantly going to go and become a millionaire. And also the word influencer also goes right into that, makes it a good old trilogy. I was going to say like peanut butter and jelly, but I really don't know something else that you can add on top of those things to make it perfect. I guess bread. All of those things go together because influencers love doing this for some weird reason, and also celebrities too. There's so much times where they just go and absolutely talk about like one coin. We've probably all heard it before, like buy this brand new coin, it's gonna go to the moon, and then everyone goes and buy it, and they're shocked to absolutely no one 2 weeks later or when their sponsorship is over, the coin absolutely plummets and everyone just loses their money. It's an absolute crazy situation. I think it's insane that people do this and somehow still has a career, because I think if you're willing to scam your audience, no one should support you because you don't care about them at all. You literally only care about money. Extremely unlucky. I ended up just realizing my camera froze, so half of the video was just a still image, so that sucks. But don't worry, your best friend Disembodied Voice is here to finish it for you. So basically, after when Logan Paul ended up announcing Cryptozoo, he was hyping it up. He was like, guys, you can go and play this game. It's a lot of fun. It's really cool. Don't forget to do it. You know, saying all the usual marketing stuff like, I have a full team of people, and I think we can all predict what they're gonna say. It's gonna be super duper fun, and make sure to join. And then suddenly, out of nowhere, he just pretended it didn't exist. Just walked away from it slowly and just absolutely moved on. Like he went to making sure to talk about Cryptozoo to completely change into talking about Prime 24/7. And that's something that he has been continue doing over and over and over again, even right now when this whole drama ended up started. But getting a little bit off topic, let me follow the timeline. So after he ended up pretending that Cryptozoo didn't exist, he ended up making one big mistake by doing that, because CoffeeZilla, a YouTuber who basically talks about this stuff a lot, like cryptocurrency and like content creators, crypto scam, basically ended up making a bunch of videos about it. And these videos are really good, and it's something I really recommend that you watch if you haven't watched them already. And basically when these videos ended up coming out, they got a lot of views and they were really popular. So a lot of people were basically talking about Cryptozoo and basically saying like, hey, Logan Paul, what's going on? Are you gonna pay these people back who felt like they got scammed? What's happening to the game? Is it even real? What's going on? And Logan Paul for the longest time has basically been trying to ignore it. Pretty sure something that a lot of people know now is that the internet has an extremely fast attention span. So usually you can be extremely bad and a terrible person for 1 minute, and then 2 days later no one even knows who you are and no one is talking about you anymore. Logan Paul was basically trying to do that, saying that, what? I don't know what Cryptozoo is, and pretended it doesn't exist. But it basically got so big where he had to mention it. He had to talk about it, and he did in literally the worst way possible. On Twitter, he ended up posting tons of cringe. Like, I still remember them perfectly, like him dressing up as CoffeeZilla with a green screen, and him talking about that he's gonna make this absolutely insane response video that's gonna debunk everything. And I think we all know when a content creator ended up doing this, you're gonna get ready for a terrible apology. And that's exactly what happened, because Logan Paul ended up making one of the worst apology videos of all time. Now, obviously, it's not the worst because that recently ended up getting beaten. I mean, he didn't take out the ukulele and start like busting a move and start dancing, but he did make a really bad apology video, which made literally absolutely no sense. He basically went like, oh, it's not my fault that Cryptozoo failed, it's the team fault, even though he's the one who hired the team. And he also said that like, oh, everyone who worked on it was like a bunch of criminals, so of course it was going to fail. But that literally makes absolutely zero sense, and this whole whole apology, it didn't go good at all. A lot of people were basically throwing tomatoes at him because he didn't take accountability at all. And basically the only valuable thing that came from the apology is that he basically said that, yeah, Cryptozoo is still alive and is gonna come out eventually. That's kind of like the only thing we got from it, and everything else was basically trying to shift blame away from him and put it to someone else. And then also he threatened CoffeeZilla with a lawsuit, which makes absolutely no sense. Okay, so someone basically exposed that you did something super shady, and your response is going like, I'm gonna go and sue you. Now, obviously, this apology went terrible. It was filled to the brim with dislikes, and it still wasn't looking good for Logan Paul at all. So he decided to delete the apology video, make a new one on his second channel, so I guess less people can see it, basically saying thank you to CoffeeZilla, and saying that he's going to make a plan to basically refund everyone who think they got scammed from Cryptozoo. Because obviously he's not going to go and say Cryptozoo is a scam, because that's not going to be good at all. And that has basically been the ending of the story. Now, most people basically knew that this is going to be the best ending that we're going to get. Maybe if the people can get their money back, and then everyone can just go back to normal. You know, we can go back to pretending that Logan Paul is just an absolute changed man and not just a terrible person, and then the world will be back in balance. As we all know, this is Logan Paul we're talking about, so the story is never going to end. Because basically ever since that, people have been waiting for the refund. And then they have been waiting. And apparently the refund has basically never came. This is something that I've been looking at for an extremely long time. They have been a lot of people talking about that. You know, you have a lot of other content creators saying that, hey, this refund never came. And then you also have a lot of people in Cryptozoo still basically anciently waiting for their refund. And then you had a lot of people making theories. You have obviously like the Logan Paul fans saying that it's just going to take a while for it to come. And then you have other people just saying that it's probably never going to come. I have absolutely no clue why it's taking so long, because one, we all know Logan Paul has the money. I mean, he makes a lot of money off his YouTube channel alone, and Prime Energy just sells out like absolutely crazy. Like, people still treat that like an absolute religion. So he has the money to pay them back, so we don't really know why he's not. And it ended up getting so bad to the point that CoffeeZilla ended up making a brand new YouTube video about it, basically talking about this whole situation. So he has been basically trying to keep in contact with Logan Paul and been saying like, hey man, when is this refund coming? And I guess he's basically been ignored. He's like, nah, I'm just not gonna go talk to this man.
He hasn't talked about it since he first announced he was going to pay them back. And what's worst of all, he doesn't seem to have a plan in place to refund anyone. How do I know that? Well, because I've been asking Logan for that plan to refund people the entire time behind the scenes in messages like these. Quote, hey Logan, following up on the zoo refunds, when should people expect those? It's been about a month. And then a month later, following up again. People are wondering what's going on. Almost been 2 months. Very frustrating for victims to get promises and then see nothing and get zero communication. And then later, hey Logan, following up for a third time, it's been over 5 months since you promised to refund the victims of Cryptozoo over $3 million. I meant to say $1.8 million there. The price of crypto changed a lot, so what this buyback was going to be was constantly changing. I just misspoke there. Either way, my point was this, quote, you haven't contacted any of them, nor explained why you haven't done what you said you'd do. Meanwhile, you got public credit for promising to do this.
But his lawyer did response to him, to CoffeeZilla.
So I opened up the letter and it read, we represent Logan Paul. Mr. Paul has informed us of your outreach about the status of the Cryptozoo buybacks. Mr. Paul remains committed to this process. We are working with Mr. Paul to evaluate the best way to achieve this goal. In the meantime, please direct to our attention any further inquiries to Mr. Paul. Thank you for your patience and understanding.
Now, this whole thing makes absolutely no sense to me because he mentioned it too, and I'm pretty sure everyone who watched this video thought about it. How have you not came up with a plan yet? Because the way how he ended up talking about this still looks like they're at square one. It still looks like they have absolutely no clue what they're doing, and they're just like, hey, I don't know, man, we haven't made a roadmap yet. You know, our live service game known as Cryptozoo, it's still taking a while, but we're gonna get there eventually, because you had so much times. I mean, you ended up releasing that last apology until January, so I think it's been 6 months, and you still basically don't have a plan out for refunds, and these people who want their money back because they felt like they've been scammed. They're basically still just sitting there, waiting. Like, maybe one day Mr. Paul will actually care about us and give us back our money. I don't know, man. I mean, I don't know what he's going to do about this situation, because a lot of people are going to talk about this because the video already got a lot of views, and I'm positive that I'm not going to be the only person who's going to bring this up. So what is going to be his plan about it? Is he going to pull like a Sunny V2? Because it seems like that's what he's trying to do. Because for the longest time, Logan Paul has basically want you to think about Prime, because he has been pumping Prime down everyone's throat, which there's really nothing wrong with that. Obviously, he made a product and he wants to make money off it. So there's really nothing wrong with that, because I do think it's funny when a lot of influencers will make fun of him for doing that. And then when they make like a brand new drink and a brand new product, they basically just tape it to their head basically everywhere they go. But the reason why it's a problem, it seems like he's doing this so people cannot think about the Cryptozoo situation. Just think about Prime, buy Prime, my drink is really good, even though it's not. It tastes absolutely terrible, and I know the reason why it tastes terrible, because it has coconut water in it. Because I have tried it before. You take a sip of it, and then you're like, this is pretty good. Then you taste coconut water. Then you just want to spit it out. But that's getting completely off topic. So I am interested to see how this situation is going to go. Now, I'm going to be honest, this could just be me being absolutely dumb, because we are talking about Logan Paul. I do think he's going to give them a refund eventually, because he probably has to. Now, again, this is Logan Paul we're talking about, so I'm not going to be surprised if he just doesn't pay them back and just completely pretend that they don't exist and just moves on with his life. But I would think he would try to do some kind of payback, because that would just make him look good. Like if he goes like, look guys, I paid back all these people from Cryptozoo, so much people are going to be like, Logan Paul changed and he learned from his mistake. Anyway, this is just an interesting situation and just something that I wanted to talk about. My name is Lua. You have a good day or night. See you.